Welcome to this Sunday's Gospel Reflection. Well, a successful businessman visited the family of one of his lowly employees. In his poor and simple house, he was received as royalty, of course. He was the boss. In the conversation, the boss was continuously bragging about his success story, how he started his business from scratch to make it the super success of a multi-million business. At every step he described, the man kept repeating, "You see, I am a self-made man. I've made it. I am a self-made man." The young 6-year-old son of the employee couldn't help being irritated by this proud man's bragging. His contempt for unsuccessful people, like the child's dad. At one point, he interrupted the man's self-glorification and asked him, "Sir, so you made yourself what you are today?" "Yes," the man replied. "Of course, I did," he replied, thinking that he had impressed even the little child. But the irritated boy quickly retorted, "If you have made yourself the man you are today, couldn't you have made yourself a bit better?" In her motherly tenderness, the Church is today alerting to us to this danger. All year round, we celebrate the heroic virtues, the miraculous works, the seemingly success stories of superheroes. We call them saints. It is those she sets before us as encouraging examples and models. But we automatically turn them into superheroes and impressive, extraordinary success stories. Is sainthood a success story? Well, the Church helps us to perhaps consider another answer. It has set this day to call our attention to the unsung heroes, the hidden, anonymous saints, the ordinary, the humble heroes of everyday life. She is inviting us not to stop at the extraordinary and special few who, in our eyes, have made it, but to recognize those who go about the simple business of everyday, ordinary life with a humble but deep and true loving faithfulness. We are invited to stop thinking in terms of the success of those who have made it and start thinking in terms of the persevering faithfulness of those making it from day to day. This is what I call hand-to-mouth holiness. Holiness is not an achievement. Holiness is not a success story. Holiness is not attaining a level of perfection that only a few heroes can ever reach. No, 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 no. Miracles are not the proof of holiness. Holiness is itself the greatest of all miracles. It is the miraculous, persevering faithfulness to a love that never gives up, in spite of failures and defeats. Mother Teresa has put it so beautifully. Holiness, she used to say, is not the luxury of the few, but a simple duty for you and for me. Again, she used to say, God is not asking me to succeed. He is asking me only to be faithful. But it does take a lifetime of self-sacrifice and pain to be faithful. It is constantly washing and washing again our robes to make them, as the first reading today says, white again in the blood of the Lamb. Holiness is not some ideal destination, it is just the direction that guides our life. As we move forward from day to day, we grow in holiness by taking humble and simple little baby steps in our everyday life. That's why holiness is simply the way of the Beatitudes that we find in today's Gospel. What is beatitude? A beatitude is not simply being admitted to some privileged class of human beings, those who have made it and were declared blessed or saints by the Church. Beatitude is much closer to home in our day-to-day struggles and trials. Beatitude simply means happiness, joy, inner joy. The Beatitudes proclaimed by Jesus are simply ways that help us to inch forward on the path to inner joy, inner happiness, and lasting well-being. They are a list of steps that all go in one direction. And these steps are poverty, gentleness, desire for what is right and just, mercy, purity, peace, and last but not least, readiness to pay the full price. It is indeed a life-giving journey, but also a tough journey. If the prize is super precious, the price is super painful. This is simply because the journey is moving away from forgetting the self so that we can move and reach out towards the others. It is forgetting the self to find the other. See, poverty is letting go of what you want to acquire, to possess, so that you can open your heart to just what you receive from others. That's poverty. Gentleness is touching others with goodness, tenderness, respect. What is justice? It's living with others as equals and not as rivals or as opportunities to exploit. Mercy and mourning are sharing the pain and bringing the healing to those who are in pain. Purity is preventing the self-interest from blocking our field of vision. We can live our lives just seeing ourselves like in a mirror, and we see nobody else but ourselves. That's impurity. Peacemaking is restoring our universal fraternity and unity in God, the Father of us all. Happiness, therefore, is choosing life. But choosing life is also choosing to die to self-love so that we can be born to real love. Yes, the only way of washing our clothes to a bright and shining white is to use the only powerful detergent that exists, the blood of the Lamb. This blood cleans us when it does not remain simply the blood of the Lamb, the blood shed by the Lamb who is Jesus. It has to be also our blood that we shed together with Him on the same cross. This is what brings happiness, joy, and life. This is the only way Joy can be received if we give it to others, and that's shedding our blood for others. We're only really and deeply happy when we make someone else happy. Ask your mom, your dad, ask the nurse or young doctor risking their health and lives for the sake of COVID patients. Ask the elderly priest or consecrated person who has borne years of hidden loneliness and solitude to be free to serve and love one and all, relying on God alone. Ask the countless people who have spent long years of self denial to support an addicted son or daughter, or bringing up the children of their separated or single children, or their parents perhaps, in their families. Ask those betrayed spouses who remained faithful to the love they had promised to their estranged husband or wife. There is no greater love than this, to give one's life for the beloved. This is the holiness we are celebrating today, the untold stories, the unknown crucifixions in flats and factories, the hidden agonies, the unsung martyrdoms of people like you and like me. Let us thank and praise God for all this hidden but life-giving holiness of poor sinners like us. It is through this hidden passion and love that God is quietly transforming our poor and miserable world into the heaven that He has dreamt and promised for us all, His sons and daughters. Let us humbly rejoice in the fact that today it is our feast. Not because we have made it to holiness, not because we have made a success of our spiritual lives, but because we are simply making it happen day by day, yesterday, tomorrow, and most of all today. This is the day. This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Wishing you all a very happy feast. It is your day, our day, after all. God bless you all.